I think they're the most vile-looking Ferrari ever made.
New for 96. With your hosts, Kevin McCauley and Chris Nguyen.
It looks like a skull with eyes.
I don't think it's angry looking, though.
It's not angry looking, but
Do you
it's
think
awful.
skulls look angry?
Shut up.
I think skulls are very serene looking.
Okay. Yes.
Well, skulls they're like bad boys. So you wear them like a t-shirt.
That's
you know?
true. Yeah.
I don't know.
Are skull caps bad? Are they? Does that make you look bad? A skull cap?
I don't think so. I don't know.
I can't wear one because my head is enormous.
What about like a t-shirt with like the bones on it? Does that make you look bad?
I think so. Oh no, my glasses are.
This has gone way off the rails already.
All right. Well, we're starting over, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You should say, "Hey, Chris," and then we'll both answer, and that's how we'll start the podcast.
Are you addressing me?
Yes, you're the only not Chris here.
Okay.
Fine.
Hey, Chris.
Hey.
What's up?
Oh my goodness, we have two Chris's.
Oh no, this just won't do. It's like the same dress at the same party. One of us has to leave. And it might as well be me, even though this is my own home.
Yeah, you probably should.
My God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to special guest Chris Perkins, all the way from New York. Thanks for joining us on our humble little podcast. Very humble.
Very humble.
Thank you, Chris and Kevin. Although I feel like we've been doing this all night. This is just continuing a conversation we
pretty
started
much.
hours ago.
There's a lot of prep for us.
Just
Nothing.
Now there are microphones.
Yeah, we've run out of things to talk about.
But no,
We've
as
had microphones for the last 30 minutes, to be fair.
Yeah.
no, but as a listener, as of what, like 5 episodes ago?
Mm-hmm.
I think the first episode I listened to was whichever one you guys roasted me on. And I forget what you roasted me about. Was it my bad Mustang take?
The bad Mustang take.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It was definitely that. And we roasted Brad, and Brad messaged me like, oh, I listened.
Yeah, well, I think the funny thing is you addressed me as like non-listener, and then
Yeah.
you roasted me, and
Yeah.
I'm like, and I was sitting there listening to it, and I texted you immediately.
I was like, this will never come back to me.
And that's the fun of it. And here
Yeah.
I am now, so we can. No, I don't want to talk about.
No,
I don't want
we-
to talk about New Edge Mustang.
we don't
at
like
all.
We brought you here to talk about the new Edge Mustang.
Yeah.
Oh,
We don't
no.
like confrontation. That's why we like the delay of releasing a podcast.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
Yep.
You're going to hear them 3 weeks later and never be able to talk back to them.
Yep.
On our show, which
on
is
our
called...
show. New
New
for
for
96. All right, it's just the two of us.
Yep.
It's not the
Do
guest.
you want to do that again?
No.
No, it's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough. I have neighbors.
You just mute my microphone.
Yeah. I could just.
Oh,
It's
we can
too
mute
far.
Oh, yeah.
It's too far. Also, we're
to
all
be-
in the same room. So it
I
doesn't
didn't get
matter.
the mute option. I got the Auga option, so it will just Auga you. Unfortunately.
How come it records on one channel and not like separate channels?
I don't know. You make it sound like I know what all these knobs do.
You'd need a different audio interface to do
These
that.
are in fact not knobs. Half of them are candy.
Is this not an interface?
That
I mean, a lot of things can be an interface.
is a glass of whiskey. So, in a
Sir,
way.
this is a Wendy's.
Oh dear Lord. Chris Perkins.
Hello.
Hey, explain to our audience who you are. What do you do?
I am. Actually, we were just talking about job titles, but I am a writer for Road and Track magazine, a car magazine. It's been a car magazine. It's the oldest car magazine in the U.S. and
Established in 1992.
Dickety.
Yeah.
The Kaiser stole our word for 20.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever watch Homestar Runner? Sorry, this is gonna go
No,
way off.
I have
the
not
Yeah.
seen
Okay,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
19. What was that?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's been a while.
I remember 20XD6, but anyways.
Yeah.
So yes, I work for Road and Track, car magazine established in America in 1947.
New
That's
for 47.
New for 47.
New for 47, the
Yeah.
Packard.
I'll take it.
No,
now
actually,
with seats.
yeah, so I am a writer there. I write online a lot, do some stuff for the magazine a little
Very
bit.
cool.
But you do lots of cool stuff. You've
Yeah.
driven every Porsche ever that's significant. And including we drove cars together. We did stories together, and we drove the 918.
Yes, frequent listeners of this podcast will probably remember you talking about. No, yes, Kevin and I
stopped talking about the 918. How could I stop?
It's the coolest car.
It is.
I haven't stopped talking about it. So I get to drive. I mean, a lot of my job is just sitting in a room creating content for all, you people. And I say content sarcastically because it's a bad word. But no, I write about cars, write news, write stories, write features, interview people.
Yeah.
Do some journalism from time to time.
Yeah.
Do some editing. And but on the really fun days, I get to drive cool cars. Like
who do you have to edit the most? Name names. Have you driven a 356?
No, I never have.
Whoa.
Never have.
I don't think anyone in this room has driven a 356.
No, I have not.
My neighbor has one. We can go break into his garage right now.
Okay. Okay. Can we just put
Scotch in hand.
Yeah. Yeah, it can't be a crime if there's alcohol involved. That was a Frasier reference. It was the breaking and entering, but it was to throw a party. It can't be a crime if it's catered.
Oh.
So. But yeah, well, hit us up if you ever get a chance to drive a 356, and other people can join in on the ride.
You'll have to tell us about it.
Yeah,
so, I'm sure I would. No, I've never driven one. They're cool though. I like 356s.
Cool. And we're familiar with people who have 356s, but there just never is an occasion to like hand over the keys to one of those. We had the collect that we were talking about last week. His whole thing at one point 3 weeks ago, the last episode, was to collect every iteration of 356. And he has since pared that down. But okay, so back to road and track. Is it anything like Car and Driver, and that you get very sensitive about the ampersand?
Yes, because Car and Driver doesn't have an ampersand.
What?
They have the slash.
They have the slash. They're car
slash. We are the
D.
ampersand book.
C/D.
Although, actually, fun trivia: Road and Track has not had an ampersand for its entire 2-year history. Originally, it was just Road and Track, spelled out, and then sometime in the early 50s, I think they added the ampersand. But the ampersand, of course, has since become like the iconic thing. So, I mean, no one puts the ampersand in.
Yeah.
Except for like us.
Yeah.
Except for like the people that actually work there.
You mean like in story? Like how often does it come up in a story?
Like in stories that we write?
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes up from time. We'll write it out, or we'll write RNT. Because it's nice to actually just have 3 characters. To spell out an otherwise kind of not really that long, but.
Yeah.
But no, like when I get emails.
Once people start reading up, like if they have to read all 9 characters,
I know.
Or 10.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah.
Right. But no, when I get emails from people who like aren't necessarily like a lot of times it'll be like Dear Road and Track. So no, we are very.
But that's what the Instagram is.
Yeah, but you can't have Instagram. You can't have ampersands in an Instagram handle. Nor could you on a URL or a Twitter handle.
You can if you spell out ampersand.
Okay.
Brand standards.
How do we follow you guys? Well, it's a little complicated. Road.
Do you have a notepad?
Yeah.
Road. Do you know how to spell ampersand?
The problem is that everyone would do road ampersand or road ampersand track because no one actually knows that it's just ampersand.
Wait, really? You think people?
Is that a problem?
Maybe. No, isn't it?
I don't think so.
I thought that was a thing that people didn't understand, that it was ampersand and not amperstand.
I do remember in my I'm having a memory now.
Yeah.
One of the 3 in my childhood when my sister, who is smarter than me, did not know what ampersand was, or had a wrong spelling of it.
Yeah.
Which might have been what you're describing, and I corrected her, and it was like basically the only.
So you were the first person that actually her?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm so proud of that.
But like, you don't ever have to write out the word ampersand, though.
No, it's rare. There's a symbol for that.
Exactly.
They made a shortcut. Yeah. It's fine.
No, so Road and Track is the ampersand book. We're very proud of our ampersand.
Yeah, it's very
Car and
stylized.
Driver.
It's very stylized.
Yeah.
Is it still stylized?
Yeah.
I remember the old design language, of which we take considerable design heritage traced back to for New for 96. But I remember the old Road and Track look. The Ampersand was very stylized. I can't picture it in the new book.
It's not quite so stylized, but it's
more
got
like a regular character.
Yeah, but it's got like a flag around it, and on the
Right.
spine of the magazine, it's just you have the Ampersand logo.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
we always have two different racing stripes going under it, and they're different colors based on whatever the hell's on the cover of the book that month. So, or that issue rather.
I was Googling something the other day, and I found when you know Brand New, Chris.
Yeah, the band.
The band?
No, the under consideration
the
blog.
emo band? No. Wait.
Brand-
Oh, yeah. It's a graphic design.
It's a graphic design
Yeah.
blog, and I remember I found when.
All right, I'm tuning out.
when the Road and Track redesign hit, I guess it was 2013, which seems crazy. It was that far ago.
Yeah.
When they had the cover and stuff, and they showed it, and all the comments were looks very Third Reichy.
Really?
Let me be a real company line here.
Okay.
We're aware.
Oh, okay.
We're aware.
That's fine. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
that-
This was something I literally came across.
No.
recently.
It's. I mean, I didn't do the redesign, so I can whatever. But no, we're aware. That might be something that's going to change in the coming months. But we have other priorities because we've got we got a new editor.
Yeah.
The Road and Track magazine production has moved from Michigan to New York, where
That's
I live,
super exciting.
which is really cool because
Now it's
Now
can it
it's
officially be called Road and Travis now.
no, it's Travis and Track.
Travis and Track.
I should say that we're referring to my editor, my boss, Travis Okolsky, who's now the editor-in-chief of Road and Track. Previously, the digital director for roadandtrack.com. Now he runs the whole show.
Yeah.
So it's and the Road and Travis joke has been around since I think he started working.
I know.
But it's so easy.
Wait, now that he's moved away, and I don't know if there's a correlation between being the digital editor and now being the editor-in-chief, will he become more online again?
No.
More online.
He'll be less online.
No, I become more online.
You become more online now. Yeah.
I think. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see the next few months go.
Okay.
There's a lot of work to do, but
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Indeed.
It's very exciting.
there's going to be some good stuff.
Yeah.
So,
I had a road track. I was searching in my magazine rack here next to.
Is that why you were not participating? in
Yes,
the
I
show?
was looking for the road ampersand track here.
Okay.
But anyways, all I have are the panoramas that you gave me that are clearly bathroom used.
Hey, they weren't from me.
They are yellow tinted.
They were. Someone else was throwing them away.
Maybe. Oh yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah.
complicated.
Your refuse. Yeah.
I said. Oh, God damn it. Anyway,
Yes.
what were we talking about?
I don't know. Oh right, someone's here. Do you see how organized we are?
I mean, I got the sense from listening.
Yeah. Man, there are a lot of
Sorry about that.
silences.
What did I tell you when I first listened? I was just like, I think I texted you. It's just like listening to you have a normal conversation.
No, actually, this is what this
Yeah.
is exactly it, actually.
This is basically like when we were at Roscoe's, except
Yeah.
now it's recorded.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm not about to pass out from eating too much chicken.
Oh
and
my
water.
That was a lot.
I
Although,
ate so much that day. I don't know how you guys ate lunch.
Yeah, because we ate not nearly as well. Chris, you really didn't eat nearly as much as Kevin and I. And Kevin, you ate the most of all.
I
of
ate the
us.
most of
you
all.
had a whole waffle and a whole chicken.
I ate 3 chickens.
Yeah.
3 chickens lost their life for that
Yeah.
chicken and waffles.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
good though.
It was so good.
It was really
Did
good.
you say 3 chickens lost their lives for that waffle? Are the waffles made of chicken?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mm.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's chicken in waffles.
Yeah,
not
chicken-
in waffles.
Yeah.
Chicken waffle.
Chicken ampersand waffles. Yeah, Chris Perkins was just asking about whether the cork pop sound was an accident, a filler effect, or all of the above. And it is, in fact, I don't know what it is. It's just we opened a bottle right next to the mic.
So you guys don't have a Foley?
No, when he
No, that'd be
mentioned
amazing
it-
if we did.
When he mentioned it, I was my mind went to he thought, oh, we're adding this sound effect later, but no, he just thought it was very poor recording. in
Yeah.
general.
Yeah.
No, but for those of you out there listening and not watching this podcast,
Yeah.
Kevin is holding up a bottle to the microphone. And
Yeah.
No, the bottle has its own microphone. A very tiny, cute microphone. So it's
a
our
lot of effort for a bit.
Yeah, it really is. So Chris, can you think of what it would be the top, I don't know, 5 features. Maybe that's too many to think of off the cuff that you've done since you've been at Road and Track.
I mean, the highlight, and not just because he's sitting here, was driving 918 with Kevin.
Yeah.
Just because.
An experience, yeah.
Amazing experience. Coolest car ever.
Yeah. Best ever. And like great 2 days of just driving. I always told people you had the worst part because you had to like drive in all the gas stations and in the city and like
it's not only did I drive in 19, I did a lot of 3-point turns in 19.
You did a lot of 3-point turns because
Kevin,
of me.
Right. Well, no, I mean, but that's part of the job.
Yeah,
it's you get to drive really cool cars, but you have to drive them in such a way that's kind of I don't want to say precarious, but you have to be very careful and be very sort of eyes on all 4 sides of your head.
Oh yeah.
And I got to do a lot of the highway miles, or like let's drive through downtown LA, or let's like let's drive on the 5 in rush hour in a.
Did I ever show you the video when I was behind you and we were in downtown LA and like I took a video because there was so much heat waves from the engine.
No, I actually haven't seen that.
I'll have to show you that, but it was
very
cool. But yeah, I boasted because like we'd get to like the most amazing roads I'd ever seen. And it's like, okay, let's driver change, and I'll just drive for like 40 minutes on this amazing road, and then I'll just hand it back over.
Right. Well, you injured yourself like 3 or 4 times during that.
How did you injure yourself?
Well, I
You
climbed
gotta get
onto
the
like
shot, man.
I climbed on this
makes
mountain, like to take not mountain. I climbed on the side of this hill to take a picture, but it was all like really slippery rock. There was nothing to grab onto, and I had to basically surf down it to get. It was fine. I was fine. I didn't bitch that much.
No, you didn't bitch at all.
I bitched a lot.
And that photo was really cool. That was a really that specific picture where the car was like on the sand and like it's above the clouds.
You were above
everything.
That was a really cool photo.
Shot.
There was no way to show that we were above the clouds unless you got some perspective.
Yeah,
right. Otherwise, you'd just be like anywhere.
It just looked like a car. Like,
otherwise, you could
horizon.
be at sea level, and it's like no, we were good 1,500 feet above Pacific Coast Highway, Pacific Ocean. So that was really cool.
It was fun driving up there. Like we didn't go much further.
It was sketchy.
It got sketchy because there was like a lot of crap in the road. Like
it was sketchy, but it was so funny because I was following you, and like I had the 19 in full electric mode, and I could keep up.
Well, I mean, I was flying, and I felt like my car was like, this is like a rally stage.
Yeah,
like,
your car was the right for that road. The 19 was like a little sketchy, and poor Andrew from Porsche, who is sort of our tour guy.
He had 680 horsepower.
Yeah, he had 680 horsepower. Yeah, but that thing's big.
And he was in the Panamera.
The Panamera.
Yeah, it was a turbo
SE hybrid.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So it really is like what 680 horsepower.
680 horsepower.
That's crazy.
It's really fast.
I never drove it. I mean, I don't regret it. I never drove it except for moving it.
It wasn't like it wasn't mind blowing.
Yeah.
I like the regular Panamera turbo better because it's a lot lighter. And in the real world, the Turbo S doesn't feel that much faster. I mean, it's cooler because it's electric and you can drive it in full silence. But like, it didn't like blow me away like a 680 horsepower Porsche you would think would.
Right.
I mean, but of course, like, nothing's gonna blow you away in a 918. Like, maybe if we had like a 959 there, that would have like measured up. But when you have like one of the coolest supercars of the century.
Yeah,
not much is going to live up. So that was a really cool story.
The craziest thing about switching from the 918 to my 911 was like how, like, the 918 you were sitting on the ground.
Yeah,
I mean you get into the 911 and it's like this small car.
Yeah, and
you feel like it's pretty low, and you are like. It feels like you're sitting 5 feet above the driving position in the 918.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know if you can convey. Like, I don't know if I can convey how weird that is. Where the 911 feels like you're on a couch sitting upright.
Yeah,
sitting 2 feet off the ground, which is not the case.
I've sat in a 918. I've never been in motion in one, and I can only imagine. And that was like it feels cocooned, I guess.
It kind of is. I mean, well, it's funny because the visibility, other than the rear visibility, it's actually, you can see really well out of it. Like, the front visibility is amazing because you have the huge fender flare, so you can place the car really easy.
Yeah.
I think I wrote in my story, it's like, I've never driven a 906 or like one of those sports prototypes from the 60s, but I'm like, this is, I kind of imagine what the view is like. You have that canopy forward. Behind, there's nothing.
Yeah.
It's just nothing. But yeah, I mean, the 19 is you're sat so low and you're kind of like reclined back, but yeah, like an older 911, it's like you're kind of just sitting upright, like like just like you would at your desk, which is actually what I like about an old 911. Yeah, it's really comfortable.
Yeah, you're sitting in a chair.
I'm not very tall, although actually I never really had issues with like my shortness in the 919 because I actually had the seat on the floor the whole time.
Yeah, I'm shorter as well, and I like sitting low as I can. Yeah. And oftentimes it's at the lowest setting.
Yeah, I mean, I'll sit a little higher just so I can so I make sure I don't curb a wheel.
The car often looks like it's driving itself with me.
There are pictures of me driving cars where I'm sat on the floor, and it looks like, and it's just like an eyes above the steering, which I'm sure it's the same for you.
Yeah.
And it's it's perfectly comfortable for me, and then you look at a picture, you're like, that looks absurd.
Yeah. Well, it's just I know some people like sitting high up and close to the steering wheel. I don't. I feel less connected to the car if I'm sitting I don't know, if I'm I feel like I'm sitting on top of the car.
Right.
So low slung, there's just more of a connection, even though there's less visibility somehow.
No, I mean, because it's just closer to the action. You're closer to the center,
Yeah.
In a sports car, you're closer to the center of gravity.
Yeah.
Where the whole car rotates. And no, I think you're kind of, I try to sit as low as possible, but sometimes I just can't see. And if I'm driving a car that I've never driven before, I don't really want to fuck up a wheel or something.
Of course.
So I'll move the seat up just a little bit just so I can make sure I'm placing the corners of the car well. But generally I like to sit pretty much as low as reasonably possible.
Yeah. And average human height Kevin has nothing to contribute because you can just sit wherever you want, in whatever position you want.
Yeah.
Must be
they
nice
make all the cars for me.
Must be nice to be 5'11".
Well, when I was
I have no idea how tall you are.
When I did the autocross, I had my helmet on, and my head would hit the left side of the roof in the 911.
Yeah.
Can you adjust the height in the seat in yours or no? You'd have to actually
yours.
You have to manually lower. You have to get some bolts out.
I don't think you can.
I don't think
that.
you can.
I don't think
it's a 1950s seat design.
Yeah.
It goes forward, backwards, and it reclines. Probably.
I took out the passenger seat to see because I've read that maybe it was on 993. Maybe it was, I don't know. I'd read that on the seat rails that you could move. There's kind of two places where it can connect in, so you could have it further back. And so when my dad and I did that road trip out to California, I wanted to move the seat back because I don't know if you've noticed, but there's less floor space on the passenger side.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's isn't there isn't the speaker amp behind the passenger footwell?
It's under the passenger seat. That's where the
under
factory.
the seat. Mm-hmm. Okay. So my dad has an old 911 too, 87.
Yeah, I've got 86. That's where it is.
Yeah. So I think someone added an amp to his, and so there's an amp right where you put your feet, you pull.
Oh yeah. No, that's definitely.
So there's really not much room.
Yeah,
on that side.
There's not much room on the passenger side. My dad's 6 foot, but he. I've tried to move the seat back further. It doesn't go back as far as the driver's seat. Yeah. Also,
really,
the maximum far back, it doesn't go back as far.
And I have the opposite problem in that in your car, I couldn't get close enough to actuate the floor. I could. It's just I was tippy-toeing the clutch, and so
I've had that problem.
Yeah, so I was looking for a car with power seats because I needed to get just slightly closer.
But the power seat's only the angle.
No, it's forward back. It's 6-way. It's 6-way.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, really? My dad says you have it's their power, but you have to pull the lever to move the seat forward and back.
I do have to pull the lever to go backwards and forwards, but for some reason it gets closer than the SC. So, and the whole thing is just that it's the floor mounted pedals. They're really hard to actuate if your legs cannot extend in the right way.
Yeah, I have that issue because I not only am I short, it's I'm all torso and no legs. So
yeah, same here.
Yeah, so and in those clutch pedals, the clutch is super long in an old 911, and you got to get it to the floor. You can't
exactly.
just be yeah. So that's always a bit of a challenge.
So
I always end up sitting really close to in some cars I'll sit super close to the wheel just because I have to get to the pedal.
Well, it's weird because proportionally all these old Porsches they are weird as far as the steering wheel where the steering wheel is and where the pedals are is weird. It's not normal.
It's definitely a relic of an old car that they just kept building.
Was there any old Porsches that you drove on your travels that were like ergonomically, you're like, this is the worst one for me? Like, were you in a 2.7 RS? You're like, I almost can't drive this because I can't reach the pedals.
Yes, actually, exactly that. Yeah, I think I told you this story then. That's probably
no, right. I don't know.
No, I got to drive. I don't know. I sound
this
so
is
cheap.
why you're here.
But
this
no,
is
I drove.
I'm dragging this out of you. You're not boasting. I'm dragging this out of you.
So last year I got to drive a 2.7 RS from the Porsche Museum. It was so good. It was so cool. But yeah, the car actually, it had really nice seats too. It had like Recaro sport seats of the era, so they're super comfortable. But like the forward back adjustment was like very, very, very limited, and I couldn't get the seat far forward enough. So like I just drove and I just, leg full extension, really stretching, and it was okay for like, the half hour I drove the car. If I had to like live with it, I would honestly get out tools and try to move, because it was like, I can't really do this. But of course I was like the shortest person at this event, and so like it was only an issue for me, but otherwise the car was lovely.
I considered like and I don't think there were power seats until the Carrera and later Carreras as well. And I thought about like if I'd gotten an SC instead, like I would have had to make some sort of modification, whether it's to the pedal or to the seat somehow. But the few times, like when we were going on those Austin twisty roads that one time, like I was a little nervous driving your car just because like I just could not actuate the clutch like fast enough. So, but I'm glad it survived. So
yeah, I guess I am too.
Yeah, as that goes.
Yeah, it's always weird when you can't get the right seating position, because it just doesn't. It takes a while to be like it's the sort of thing you never want to compromise on.
Right.
But sometimes you have to compromise on.
Yeah.
Like you're like, I have no choice but to like, I'm gonna have to drive in some like really awkward position just because like it is like, this is the only way that I'm gonna be able to drive this car. And
what I did with his car is that I would have to sit kind of cockeyed a little bit so that one leg was closer.
Oh, so you were
I was like turned slightly, so
well, you made it.
Yeah.
Kevin's car's still here. I saw it earlier today, so it's not broken.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I only crunched one gear in your car, and you weren't there, so
I wasn't there. I'm the worst passenger in my car, so it's for the best.
Yes, that's okay. I've crunched it a couple times at least.
Chris Perkins is the only person that has driven my car unsupervised. Like
really,
pretty much. Yeah, I don't like if I let someone drive it, I'm usually there, and I'm terrible. So we were shooting. Yeah, you should be. We were shooting near. So this is like my favorite story that I wasn't even there for. But we were shooting near San Luis Obispo, kind of north.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, kind of near. Yeah, near San Luis Obispo.
What's it called?
Pismo Beach.
Yeah. And you and Andrew you'd want to get a drink or a bathroom stop or something. We had been driving all day.
Both.
Yeah, we've been driving all day, and I was like, "You guys go get like a just some water or whatever." And I was shooting the 918
and the
Panamera, and they're like, "You're like, can we take one of these?" And I was like, "I want to get the shots." Like the light was fading, and like actually the light went away. Like it was not even golden hour. It was not even dusk, but it was like late in the day, and just fog came in, and so it got really gray and really dark, like really early. So I was like, just take my car, go, probably 2 miles to the next gas station or something.
5 minutes,
and you and Andrew took it, and I totally trusted you, and I knew it would be fine. And then you ran into the president of Porsche Cars North America.
we ran into Klaus Zelmer, who is very nice and like a very gregarious guy. Like, he has no reason to remember me, but he always remembers me. He always comes and says hi to me every time I see him. And so this was after Rennsport Reunion, and he has a gorgeous, I think like 67 912 Irish green.
Ooh.
And he was driving it down the coast with his wife and daughter.
Oh wow!
He had the vintage wood luggage rack on the top. They had all
that's
their,
cool.
old school luggage. It looked so cool, and we saw them going down PCH. They we stopped to do something earlier in the day, and they drove past and they were honking and waving. And I was like, oh wow, that's Klaus. And then we pulled into this random town, to like some random gas station to get like some snacks and things. And I'm driving Kevin's car, and
Andrew was with you.
And Andrew was with me, and then Klaus is like, hey, like, and he's like very kind of boisterous. Very.
He's also like, where's the 918?
Yeah, right. And he was like, what? And then so we pulled in, and like he's sitting there, and then there's like another woman there who had like she was coming from Rennsport. She had like her like a 356. And it was super funny, really bizarre, and.
It's like that kind of bizarre stuff happened like all the time.
Yeah, like we kept
Rennsport.
running into Porsche people after Rennsport just because.
Yeah, the state was saturated with people.
Pretty much, Chris. You really should go to the next one.
I would love to.
I think I said after I'm like I will go to this. I'll go to this every like whatever it costs. Like it's worth it.
Yeah.
And I mean it's I'm drinking the Porsche. I'm drinking the Porsche Kool-Aid.
No,
I have been for a long time.
It's fun, but like. I mean, it's a bargain even compared to Monterey Car Week because you don't have the demand for the hotels.
No.
It's not the same. Like my dad and I went in 2015. We flew out to Rennsport, and I told him I was like, "We're gonna drive to the next one."
Yeah,
and we actually did.
You did, yeah.
Yeah,
5,000 miles round trip.
Yeah.
Well, next time you and your dad drive your car, and I'll ride with you and yours.
Yeah.
Or maybe
have a
you
little
and your
caravan.
Dad drive from Mass.
Yeah. He is.
Or
My dad's not a road trip type of guy.
Well,
but
just-
I'll just have to convince him to sell me his car by that point, or I'll just take it from him.
Yeah, take it, or just say like, hey, like, ship it to Monterey, have him like so he can enjoy it there,
and then
then you drive it back, and
Sure.
I'll co-pilot with you.
Sure. Okay.
Except I'll also be driving back, but I might do one way next time.
We can swap cars. Yeah, I was gonna say you had a long trip.
It was a long trip, but it never felt that long. It was great. It was really enjoyable.
Yeah.
It was really enjoyable. Like
that whole experience. I mean, Rennsport itself was just such a nice time, and like it was cool because it was good friends and met cool people,
so amazing.
Saw cool cars, great weather the whole time we were there. Other than that sort of like Monterey fog, but
yeah,
that happens. That's always like part of it.
Yeah, it adds to the experience.
Yeah. Well, the Monterey fog is always like it's always there, and then it goes away.
Yeah. Right.
Like you're never like on the coast. Shooting.
Next topic. No more Porsches.
No. I'm all for that. But speaking of car events, we'll be heading to one very shortly. Tomorrow, actually, we'll be heading up to Austin to go to Radwood. I'm not sure which number it is at this point.
I was just thinking about this. It's got to be like 9 or 8.
That's incredible.
It's funny. I was talking to Blake about this. He's like, "Oh yeah, I remember Radwood too," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's why the last time we're ever going to refer to one of these things as like having a number."
Yeah.
Just because they've done so many of them.
Yeah.
But this is the first of the 2019 Blitz that also includes like the UK and Japan.
Japan, yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
It's wild that it's grown so much since
2
shows in 2017.
I
would say this will be your like 4th or 5th Radwood, right, Kevin?
4th. Yeah.
This will be my 4th.
This will be my
your 4th.
3rd. But I mean, like, Radwood is a car culture force. Like, it is influencing like the car market and tastes and trends. So that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, you certainly see them bring a trailer, and at the various auctions, or that, I don't know if you guys talked about this on your podcast before, that RM Sotheby's crazy auction.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if it's one auction or just one collection.
I don't know either. That was I wasn't clear on that.
And there's
so
Chris
cool.
Harris did a video of that where it was just all of these like.
We watched that video and he fell asleep while we were watching it.
I did, but I want to see it again. It was very
just
late.
watch it for the Alpina 8 series.
The 7 series.
The 8 series was cool too.
Oh yeah,
I liked both the 7.
Yeah.
But you see that big auction companies are like responding to that and realizing that there is like a sort of market for like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only natural. I mean, it's like people our age are like starting.
People are aging out. The people that want like
the nostalgia,
1920s like Delahaye or Bugatti are like, not so much.
No.
What are you talking about? I'd love a Delahaye. Actually, I would love an old Bugatti, an old Alpha, but that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, but I mean,
but I don't lust after it like I lust after, let's say,
Testarossa.
A Testarossa, or a Countach, or a Vector W8 twin turbo.
Oh my God.
And that's just it. Is it like these are no longer like aspirational cars, like in a bad way, as they were for the people in the previous generation.
Chris also has a weird terminal, like a weird thing around the term aspirational, where you use it in a weird way. Like I don't think it's necessarily derogatory in the way that you
No,
do.
it can be. No, there are two meanings. It's a good and a bad thing. So aspirational in a good way is
keep this to 10 seconds or less.
whatever. Like, okay, and
limited time here.
CLA Mercedes is aspirational in a bad way.
Okay,
Fair enough.
Versus like a C class in the 90s, a 202, I think, is aspirational in a good way.
But aren't you just seeing that through rose-tinted glasses? How is how is that different?
It's different because I don't know. It was a better car. It was better built, better intentioned. Like it was a baby S class, versus the CLA, which is not. It's just a European compact car that is badged premiumly over here in our American eyes.
Glowing badge.
Glowing badge at that. The glowing badge is bad aspiration. In my opinion.
Let's get back to Radwood.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it.
I'm excited for it too. We're caravanning tomorrow.
We're caravanning with a group. It's going to be potentially a Testarossa, Integrale, other cars,
944
Porsches.
S2, your 911, my Toyota Celsior.
I was going to say, I'll be riding in the back of the Celsior, getting a
massage. Chris is going to be riding in the back. Someone's actually going to use the back seat.
Nate's coming with 1 or 2 cars.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I'm curious what else we're going to see. I kind of don't really know exactly what they've got.
I hope he brings the RWB.
I don't know. He posted literally the other 2 cars that are not RWBs.
Okay. Oh, like maybe the Kremer 930?
Yeah.
That'd be cool too. That'd be really cool.
I mean, a Kremer 930 is very Radwood.
Yeah.
Very Radwood.
Arguably more Radwood than an RWB. I love an RWB.
Yeah.
But arguably the Kremer because it's period modification.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like,
it is.
So this will be a good convoy. Like, even though it might be kind of shitty weather, which, but this is perfect. I love that we're taking these cars out, on the road.
Yeah.
Man, for people like just in normal cars that we're gonna be like passing or not passing, whatever. It's gonna be the most puzzling convoy too. Because it's gonna be like,
especially
it's gonna be like
we're gonna be going through like small towns and stuff, and it's
yeah,
gonna be like,
right.
like 11 loud, weird cars.
Right, but it's not like 11 supercars. It's not like 11 guys in like 2004 Gallardos.
You know, shitty super.
God.
You know, it's gonna be like an old 911, a Testarossa. A Japanese businessman in the back. Right. What? You know. What's that? That little weird Volkswagen Golf looking thing.
Yeah. The washing machine.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
a very fast washing machine.
It'll be cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
So what? Can you tell us? Because this will be by the time this goes live, 3 weeks after I edit it.
Yes.
What kind of props did you bring?
Oh. Well,
tell us about your props. Anything you want to disclose?
I'll disclose it all because by then the car would have already been on display at the show.
Yeah.
I was gonna buy more props, but then it started getting ridiculous. So I'm gonna bring.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know. I have an Apple Newton from 1990. I think it's a 93 Apple Newton. So it's almost on period or on year with
turned on.
My car. It won't be turned on, but I'm gonna leave it somewhere because I imagine the owner of the Celsior was fascinated by technology and would have purchased like the iPad before it was an iPad. Bad iPad. Like and then I bought a period correct newspaper. So it's a 92 November.
That's cool.
92 newspaper.
From where?
It's a USA Today. I would have gotten a Japanese one if I could find one. But this is the Clinton wins one.
Ooh.
So because I have a Clinton Gore sticker on the back of the car, and I really at some point in time I want to replace the in the period correct inspection tags with just Japanese decals instead for the numbers, and same with Clinton Gore, just spelling that out in Japanese, although no one will know what that means. So that's about it. I was going to buy like a period correct like laptop. I wanted to stick with like a techie theme, but it was starting to get kind of expensive buying all these little props.
Wait, did you buy the Newton just for this?
No. Here's the sad thing.
You're
is that
into like that stuff.
I have like a collection of old Newtons. I had one when I was in 3rd grade.
Wow.
Yeah, it was... so... Yes, but that's about it. So my props will be limited.
That'd be excellent.
Yeah, what about you?
I have the auto shade which I bought.
Yeah,
it's like a wind visor, like a shade for the dash, but it has sunglasses on it.
Okay.
It's from 1985.
Amazing.
Nice.
I have my Jimmy Carter Re-Elect sticker.
Yeah.
I am going to put the Seinfeld Assman plate on the car.
Are you?
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I'll have the club.
I was going to say,
You're going to have the
relic from Redwood 2.
Yeah.
Which I brought to Redwood 2.
From its known appearances on a Porsche 968 and a Unos Cosmo.
Yeah.
Yeah. And airport and TSA security.
Yeah.
And
that was amazing.
What else? I think that's about it. I might have a couple things, but I have a really cool mug that I was showing to Chris that he's like, yeah, I'm too young for this. But it was a mug that's shaped really weird that's how you used to drink coffee in your cars. You put this weird ass mug like on the dash.
The thing that looks like a bedpan?
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I have one. And
because the 911 has no cup holders.
Right.
Yeah.
But cars didn't back then.
No.
But I also...
especially not German.
I'm bringing
cars.
But for me, I'm bringing a Polaroid, and I just got a Nimslo 3D camera.
Okay.
With 4 exposure lenses.
Oh, amazing.
So I'm excited to play with that.
Yeah. I brought a Polaroid to Rad 2, but it didn't have film.
But mine has film.
Okay. Oh, here. Kevin, will you do the...
Pardon me.
Not pre-recorded. So,
Cheers. Just really leaning into this. I don't have like a theme to any of the stuff I brought just because I don't have a car. But I showed you earlier. So I was at Daytona for the 24 hours last month.
Yeah.
And I went to all the various people selling like die-cast models. I found a guy selling a bunch of pins. So I have a McLaren F1 logo pin on my jean jacket.
Cool.
That's cool.
An IMSA Camel GT pin from like a 1988 race at Lime Rock. And Lime Rock's my home track because it's Connecticut. I'm in New York.
Connecticut.
All right.
Carry on.
All right.
That makes one of
Settle
us
down.
of Connecticut.
That's enough here.
But I think the pièce de résistance, I think you'd agree, is a Chevy Beretta GTU pin.
It's amazing.
Out. I was literally talking about that today on Twitter because,
it looks like a bone stock Chevy Corsica.
Yes. No. Wait.
Was the Beretta? Was the Corsica the 4-door?
The Corsica was the precursor to the Beretta.
Oh. Okay.
So did you saw the GIF that I posted?
No,
today?
I didn't.
You
I
liked
just got
it. You retweeted it.
Oh,
I haven't been on Twitter all day. So.
The Camry. I like the Camry.
It was. I don't know what movie it was from, but basically it was a front wheel drive because they're all front wheel drive XV10 Camry that was like drifting into the scene, and then a Taurus of the same era, like a 92, drifting into the scene, and then there was a Corsica, and then there was just like a small conversation, there was some subtweets about how the Beretta was the the son of the Corsica, and then that sent me down a rabbit hole of looking up the Corsica's history or the Beretta's history, and then I found out about that one,
the IMSA.
Yeah, and
it looks bone stock in that.
Yeah,
in that
it does.
It looks like a normal car.
I mean, there's only so much you can do in a pin.
Yeah.
So there was that one, the GTU.
Yeah.
But also back
then there was
then
a
you could
GT
race like obsolete cars that weren't that good.
In GTU.
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
It was also not the only. It was also not the only GTU of its time because there was the RX-7 GTU in that era.
Oh yeah.
Slightly cooler car. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could debate that.
We'll go for that. Yeah.
Only slightly.
Only slightly. But the Beretta was kind of a cool car.
Yeah.
Even though there was, I remember listening to a story about like how the gun manufacturer had an issue and they had a trade out in which like GM gave them a Beretta as part of the settlement, which GM really won out on that one.
Wow. You think they'd demand more money?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's
but
bizarre.
I hope to see that there. So not tomorrow. Actually, I also realized that my tweet said like going to Radwood tomorrow, and I hope that no one takes that as scheduling advice because it's actually
You
on
are
Saturday.
on your way to Redwood.
I would bet I better reply to it now.
Yeah.
Call everyone who faved the tweet.
So wait, is Levi
actually.
Okay. All right. Well.
Do you know of cars that will be there tomorrow? I believe the event organizers have kind of hinted at some cars that might be there.
Yeah, I mean, Brad said there's going to be a 959 and a 40.
Yep.
Which
So
is cool.
they've never had those.
They have had both of those.
Wait,
yeah.
really? Oh,
Yeah.
God damn it. I forget about all the non-LA ones because those are the only ones I've ever been to.
I know. Yeah, and then they had, I think at Bay Area last year, I think they had a 959 and a 40.
Okay, fine.
But they've had like 4 959s over past events.
What? Okay,
but
fine.
never an XJ220.
But that's...
No, actually 220.
Oh my God, I hope the one that's in Houston goes, but unlikely.
Unlikely.
But isn't that also representative of like the 959 just in general, like that when it turned 25, suddenly they were everywhere, like relatively speaking.
I mean, they didn't build that many.
I have seen
How
at
many do you think they built?
It's under 300.
No,
But-
there's no. There's no way.
What do you think? There's like some sort of conspiracy?
No, I don't. I think it's known that there are like more than 1,000 959s.
No way.
No, there's the sport is super limited.
The sport they built 20 of. The rest of them, I believe they built 282. But they built a few extras
way off?
in the 90s.
Am I conflating this with F40s?
Yeah, you're way
No,
off.
let's see.
Yeah, I think you're conflating with F40s because the F40 they built like 1,300 of them.
Yeah.
But no, the 959 was far rarer. I want to say.
Are
God,
you planning on reading the screen? Sorry, carry on.
I know this in a story. This is Wikipedia is saying 337 plus 8, but that I don't think is accurate.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That is
they're
crazy because I thought there were a lot more.
I thought there was a lot more.
The-
considering
the
how many I've
story-
seen.
So the story of the 959 is really interesting. Porsche didn't really want to build it because it was so expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem is like in, let's say 84, 85, they, with all the prospective buyers, they like signed contracts saying like, hey, you're put down a $20,000 deposit. We'll sell you this car for $350,000 once it's all done. And a lot of those buyers were Americans because that was Porsche's biggest market at the time. But then by the time by 87, they realized like, holy shit, this car that we all wrote in contracts to say this car, we're going to sell this car to you for $350,000. It was going to cost them like $700,000 or something insane like that to build. So they tried really hard to get out of building it. And that's why they didn't bother federalizing it for the U.S.
Yeah.
Or at least
Wow.
that's the conspiracy. That's what like Bruce Canepa has told me.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to
Whoa.
federalize it for the U.S. because that was like their way out of the contract.
That's
because,
so
really
interesting.
interesting.
yeah,
Wow.
because I mean it makes sense because like it cost them so much money. It was one of the things that like drove them to like financial ruin in the late 80s because
Wow.
because the project was so expensive.
Like
and
all
that's
those
why
pieces I could see, all those pieces, but like not actually seeking U.S. federalization because they had a lot of people.
so that's
that
Canepa's
makes
theory,
so
and
much
it's
sense.
it
checks
kind of
out.
it checks out.
Yeah.
It's like I believe him on it, and he's the expert on these cars.
He has his own 959, branded 959.
Yes, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, it
But
is.
but no, that's what he had told me once, and I did a story on that because I did a story. I think it was in '92. Some guy who Canepa says is a collector in somewhere in Asia was just like, I want some more, and they had like 6 body shells lying around. They said like, and Porsche just said like, because in '92 they really didn't have any money, so they're like, yeah, sure, we'll sell them to you at like triple what they will cost to build. And the guy said, yeah, sure, fine. And so these cars, like, there's like 6 of them that are otherwise identical to like 88 959s, probably even where I think the VINs are like 88. Like they're reserved for 88 cars or 89 cars, whatever.
Yeah.
But they were built in the 90s.
Oh, interesting.
And where did they end up? I read the article, but it's been so long.
So I think they're in a warehouse in California. Like the collector that bought them keeps all his cars in California. He never drives them. I don't think he even like sees them. Some of them have since been sold. I think it's hard to know which ones are which though, just because if the VIN comes up as saying it's an 88, people are just going to think it's an 88.
Yeah.
You have to know
that series of
right.
numbers.
And Canepa said, like, he's claimed to say, like, yeah, we've had the cars in our shop. You take them apart, you can't tell. You just have to know. You have to know which one's which. You have to know that, like, this series, in the records, of course, they weren't very well kept. Like, all of this was done, like, it was a very different era of Porsche. But yeah, no, 959s, they're very rare, and that's probably the reason why.
The last time I was at Canepa, there was like 8 hanging around the shop.
Yeah, it's just because like he's the guy. So like, it like gives you a false, or like the fact like at Rennsport there was like 12 of them, which is like really insane when you consider that that's like a really really healthy percentage of all of them.
Well, to be fair, like I feel like every time I've gone to California, I've seen at least 1 or 2 959s, either in a museum space or just kind of about, and like, but before like 2000 and I don't know, 15. I'd never seen one. Obviously,
we've seen a couple in Houston, like at Treff Punked and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, I think you'll see them at events and stuff, but they're very rare.
Considering
really rare.
It's like the exact same numbers as F50s built, and I've not seen really any F50s in the last 10 years.
Yeah,
rare is like, well, I did see I actually really hope this guy with the XJ220 like comes about, because he seems like he's involved in and around. He's real casual, but like the one and only one that I ever saw was here in the parking lot of a Tex-Mex restaurant.
Really?
Yeah, and he didn't just let me sit in it. He like forced me into the car because I was taking a picture of it. He's like, "Hey, you sit in it." And then like before I knew it, he was like shoving me in it, and I was very willing because it was an XJ220. I didn't care what was gonna happen.
Cool.
I've only seen like 1 or 2 XJ220s.
Kevin sat in the one at the Peterson.
Yeah, the one at the Peterson is Heinz-Harald Frentzen.
Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah.
Heinz-Harald Frentzen, Formula 1 driver.
Yes.
The one at the Peterson is his. That one I saw, and then the one that you saw, I saw in Monterey.
Oh yeah, he had like he was driving around Monterey, and it was like dirty, which was so cool.
It was in a parking lot at my hotel.
That's amazing. The one I saw, I've seen the one at the Peterson, or they had one at the Peterson a while ago. But the only other one I've seen, yeah, I think so. I don't remember actually. The only other one I've seen was, I was in Geneva for the motor show a few years ago, and I was staying at the Intercontinental, and there was an XJ220 parked outside.
Oh, that's cool.
I ended up meeting the guy, and he was like a friend of a friend of a friend, and he was super cool. He let me sit in the car. It was British Racing Green, had the Don Law sticker on the rear window. It was so cool. I was like, I honestly was like trying to figure out if I could like play hooky for the second day of the motor show, just so I could like see if he would like take me for a ride.
Yeah.
And just because it's like,
I mean, when would you ever get the chance?
Yeah, right. And I mean, like Geneva would be like the worst place in the world because there's nowhere to go fast there, and the Swiss have a very kind of strict. They're very strict about speeding, so like it's kind of not a great place to drive an XJ220. But yeah, the guy lived in the UK, kept it, and he like drove it from England to Geneva for the motor show, and just had it parked out front. And there was a bunch of like other supercars, like modern supercars, that were boring, and like the XJ220 just looked perfect.
Oh yeah,
that's wrong. There was a third one I saw at this like weird car collection in Vegas. If you're ever in Vegas, which I sympathize with you if you are, if you're ever in Vegas and you can go, there's like a hotel that has this weird car collection, and I urge you to check it out. Because when I went in 2010, there was like a D-Type and an XJ220 and 3 Ford RS200s.
Oh, whoa.
And, yeah.
That's like 30% of all of them.
Yeah, seriously.
And
it's not true.
2 XR4 TIs and like an ISO Grifo and stuff, and like stuff that was really
This is
cool.
like they're all on display?
Yes.
None of those have like anything to do with each other,
no,
too.
I love that. That's so cool. It's just random.
Too.
Yeah.
They're all for sale too. Like they're all like for the sale of the highest bidder or whatever. It's really weird.
Why would there be an ISO Grifo and an XR4 Ti in the same collection?
Seriously.
I mean, it's cool.
Yeah.
Both are cool cars.
Yeah.
It's very rare that I think about them.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, never have they occupied the same mental space, now they have.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, shall we move on now to our game?
Yeah, I think so. I need to bring this up on my phone because I cannot read that.
How can you not read that?
I need glasses.
Here.
I can read.
Well, unfortunately, like the spacing on this thing is
That
not great.
That didn't really help.
No, I'm making it worse because you can't actually see anything now. Oh, okay. There's some actually real cool. Okay, so
this is an interesting list.
we're playing Fuch, Marry, Kill, which is actually our FMK game. So it's it is daily, crush, drive once.
Okay.
So I've said that definition out of order, but it's fine. So 1990 is our year. And we're scanning the list right now. And normally what we would do is we started a thing the last episode in which we would pick 3 cars for the other person to FMK. But I think for this, since we have 3 and we don't have the mental computational power to figure out how to extrapolate this game, yes. Let's just pick 3. Each of us pick 3.
We're picking our own?
I think we're picking our own.
Okay. Fuch, Marry, and Kill?
Yes.
Okay. This is a good list, which I'm sure we'll talk about once we've picked our...
Yeah, there's a lot of good cars.
Yeah. And we can insert a sound effect of a timer ticking here as we decide here. We're each seeing this list for the first time here.
Real high stakes game.
Yeah, very much so. Wow. Okay, there is some stuff here.
Yeah, I'd say so.
There is some stuff. Wow.
There's like 2 or 3 that I'm having a hard time picking between, to be honest.
Yeah.
Easy choice for me.
Easy choice?
Oh yeah.
Well, then you go first, I think.
Okay.
Wait, ready? No, I shouldn't establish the rules. I'm the guest. Chris, you establish the rules. Other Chris.
Okay. There are actually no rules.
Yeah, it's pretty unorganized.
No rules.
But you have to stick by this forever.
You can fuke all the cars.
Yeah, you can fuke all the cars. You can be a whore if you want.
No, on Sopranos they would say whore.
A whore.
That's
what I just said. She was a whore.
She was no. She was a whore.
I can't do it like who was the actor?
Joe Pantoliano.
Yeah, I don't.
Ralphie.
Know. Ralphie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who
you said the actor. It was whatever.
Yes. Okay. So, well then, Kevin.
Okay. All right. So for the Fuch, a one-time drive, I'm gonna say Toyota Serra.
Okay. Good choice.
For daily NSX.
Mm-hmm.
A perfect choice.
Yeah.
And Kill, Crush.
Yes.
I feel like I'm doing this for the greater good.
Yes.
Ford Explorer.
Whoa.
Because if you crush the Ford Explorer.
1990 was the first year. That was the cool one.
No, I know. But I'm saying maybe you could have repercussions across history.
No.
I'm talking about historically, the Ford Explorer, we crush it.
The first mass market.
Yeah.
SUV.
So maybe we delay crossovers.
Oh, this is a joke in poor taste, but is this like your baby Hitler thing?
Yeah, this is exactly that.
Yeah.
This is exactly It's a butterfly wing situation.
Okay.
I combine situation and scenario. Butterfly wing situation where we crush the Explorer and maybe we don't have crossovers now.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, fine.
The only reason I wouldn't crush that is because my parents had an Explorer of that generation.
They wouldn't be in the Explorer, Chris. They're not in the car that I'm crushing.
No. It's just I'm saying I have a soft spot for that because it was like
I do
I'm
too.
Doing this for the greater good.
But they weren't the
greater good.
My neighbor had one like the first year, the 1990, and he had an Eddie Bauer.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh my god, a two-toned
car. They had the Eddie Bauer
car.
the first year?
They did.
Yeah.
Green with yellow. Or green with like
beige or whatever it is. It looked good.
My parents had a first gen. I think it was a limited, and they had a second gen too, the Exploder. And that was an Eddie Bauer.
Oh yeah. Answer me this. Why on the first gen Explorer does that one rim have like a protrusion? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like on the hub cover. Like it's not on every single hub cover. It's just on one. It's like passenger front or something like that. Okay, we'll look at a picture later because I need someone to explain.
What you're talking about?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll cut this out.
Okay.
Wait, do you actually cut things out?
No. It's. This is why there's no one listening at this point.
Actually, there was some stuff I cut out last time.
Oh, fine. Oh no. Okay. Well.
Are you making your choices now?
I've made some choices. Okay. I'm gonna try not to pick any of the same ones that you have. Although Chris Perkins, do not feel that you have to do this. So I'm gonna go ahead and for Fuch, I'm gonna go with the BMW 8 Series,
Ooh,
the E31, because it is just beautiful. For Mary, I'm gonna go for the Toyota Previa. I have always liked that car.
So you would daily a Previa?
I would mid-engine rear-wheel drive minivan.
Not as good as you think, but go on.
They're amazing.
Okay.
For Kill, I'm gonna pick another like horrible thing. Just Chrysler minivan. Which one was this? Oh, it was the first. It was the AS. I don't like this one.
Oh, that's a good choice. I like those.
Really?
When I say good choice, I mean a good van. Bad choice.
Bad van. Good van was a Previa. I'm doing a van thing here. All right, those are my three.
Oh God.
Okay, I guess that means me.
It is you.
For my drive once, I'm gonna go Lotus Carlton.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh,
It's
good choice.
yeah, they're so cool.
good.
They're so cool. Yeah, 177 mile an hour sedan, popular for ram raids, crime sprees in England. Still look cool.
Yeah.
Handling by Lotus, probably. It says on
Everything by Lotus.
Yeah. Right. Very cool car. Just
Except the engine.
just an icon.
Cosworth engine, right?
Yeah, I think so. And a Corvette ZR1 transmission.
Nice.
Whoa.
That's a dumb piece of trivia.
That is weird. I had no idea.
GM owned Lotus at the time.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
The ZR1
that was what could handle the torque.
The ZR1 was tuned by Lotus. Lotus built like the
Lotus designed the engine for the ZR1.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, they didn't do the
DOHC.
chassis; they did the engine. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, the only overhead cam Corvette engine ever.
Whoa.
non-push rod.
Interesting.
The only non-push rod Corvette engine ever.
More rainbow flying over my head.
Yeah, right. Very cool car. But Lotus Carlton's is an icon. You know, it was faster than the M5 of its time. You know, I mean, I love the M5, but the Carlton was like kind of the real giant killer. So that's my drive once because I don't really know what they're like to live with. Daily, I might actually go 8 Series.
Okay.
Ooh.
My realistic choice would be the NSX, but you pick that.
I know.
The NSX,
Yeah.
I've driven a first gen NSX. They're lovely.
They are.
And it's a totally like
You
could daily it
around the city. It's an Accord, like
and then it revs to 8,000.
Yeah.
And it makes the noise.
Yeah.
You know, and it's got beautiful steering, and I think it's a beautiful design. I think it is one of the nicest looking cars.
Absolutely.
That though, one of those in red with the black roof.
Yeah.
The early ones.
Yes.
Perfect. But since you picked it, and since I love it, the 8 Series, I'm gonna go 8 Series daily because I think that actually would be a really nice daily. You know,
That'd be a nice daily.
if you
Which one would you have?
850 CSI.
Of course.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Well, it would have to be a V12. Maybe,
Yeah.
I could maybe settle for the automatic, but the CSI.
If you could have any of them, you could.
Yeah.
You could get the V12.
If given the choice, and if someone else was paying for the maintenance,
Yeah.
I would get the V12.
Yeah. All day long.
Just because that's the cool one. And then Kill. I'm gonna say Infinity G Series.
Whoa.
I don't
okay.
remember which one.
I actually
but
like
this
these because the G Series of that era would have been the G20, which would have been the.
It's nothing against the car.
It's the Nissan Primera, technically.
This is the point in the show where we tell you that your kill choice is what you have to daily when your daily choice is in the shop. So with the 8 Series, you're looking at 40 to 50 days a year.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Behind the wheel of the G.
No. Oh, I should have picked the NSX then.
Oh, I would kill this car.
No,
you know
what?
This.
I know
No.
very little about that car, but
High revving 1.8.
the thing is, I think people who drive Infinities are bad.
I agree.
And I will say,
What
I
if you
told
could
you
kill
this
the-
story.
What if you could kill the
I
brand?
did the other day. A man driving an Infinity, I flipped him off because he honked at me as soon as I started to go parallel park.
What?
And I shouldn't have flipped him off, whatever. But then he I was driving my Miata, and he hurled some homophobic slurs at
Oh
me.
my god.
So, and he was driving an Infinity QX60.
Oh god.
Which proves my theory
Okay.
that Infinities are cars for bad people.
you
Infinities
knew-
are people
You
are
knew
for
what
cars
it
for
was
bad people.
called,
I mean, I saw it drive by.
but
It was an SUV. It was a QX60.
The nomenclature
Maybe it was a
nowadays.
QX50. Who the hell cares?
I'll say Infinity's when was Infinity last reputable? Like
2002.
I'm gonna say even earlier than that.
No, because 2002 they had the M45 and the G35.
True. Actually, you're right because the M45 was kind of cool.
And the FX, I don't know.
Yeah,
the FX.
So they didn't always used to be like cars for bad people. At some point in time, they deviated.
Yeah. They might have been for bad people then, but they had interesting cars.
It probably has less to do with the cars though, and just the people that buy them. It just seems to be,
aspirational.
It's aspirational. I was about to say Infinity is an aspirational brand.
It's aspirational, but it has no history.
No, it has no history, and there's no reason because it costs the same. Like if you wanted to buy a premium mark, you honestly could buy like a pre-owned BMW with a warranty,
right?
And it'd be just 100 times better.
Yeah, I mean, I realize it's elitist to be like, oh, well, that brand has no history, but like to me, I actually care about that sort of thing. I mean, that's why like BMW and Mercedes and Alfa are cool. Because
what about Lexus?
Lexus is cool because the story of the original LS400 is cool, and
what about
they make the LFA. They made the LFA, which is
true.
Really cool.
They've made their own modern history.
Yes, they made the LFA. The LC Coupe is beautiful.
Wonderful. It is
and the convertible.
Amazing.
The convertible is going to be cool.
We talked about that before it launched. We talked about the convertible being amazing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
Most underrated mid-sized luxury sports sedan, GSF.
Oh, GSF is great.
GSF. A lot of people aren't into it
now. They're cheaper now.
The GSF is so cool because
GSF is great. And
it looks cool
looking. It's got the vented
crazy
behind the front wheel.
Yes,
it looks crazy, and that engine is incredible.
Yeah.
It is the same engine as the LC and
the
the IS.
And the GS platform handles better than the RC.
Yep.
It does.
And it's great.
It's really cool, and it's a great daily. I've driven a few of them, and they're lovely.
Like the ISF and the GSF are like on the used market. If you're going to get if you just need a reliable family car that's a little bit fun, you should go for those.
The GFS is truly crazy. But I mean, if you're looking at M5 or a Mercedes AMG, I don't know. They don't do numbers now. That makes sense.
Yeah, no.
But if you're looking at one of these, none of them are as aggressive looking as the GS because the GF has this insane bodywork.
Yeah, it's got the whole Lexus suspended. Yeah. But I think it actually works. I think it actually looks really cool.
That vent behind the front wheel is so cool.
It's really cool.
It's awesome.
And that engine's amazing, and it handles really well. It steers really well.
Yeah.
They're great dailies. I think the GSF is one of the most underrated cars on sale today. Yeah. It is so underappreciated.
Even the GS350 is a good car.
Yeah.
The sport,
I've never driven a 350. I've only driven the F.
Well, I've driven the GS350 Sport, and it's it has that nice handling, a little less weight in the front, and it's good. Definitely buy that over it.
I mean, the GSF in a way, it's kind of like a modern E39 M5.
Whoa.
But think about it in terms of spec, high revving naturally aspirated V8.
I was going to say naturally aspirated, last of.
Yeah, I mean, if you're mad that BMW doesn't make a naturally aspirated V8 sports sedan anymore, Lexus. They built one. Now, you can go to a Lexus dealer today and buy one.
Wicked this way comes.
With the commingling of Toyota and BMW, what was the latest rumor is the next 3 Series. No, not the next 3 Series. The next IS might have a 3 Series engine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the inline 6.
Oh, I hadn't seen that. I mean,
rumor mill at the moment, but who knows? Maybe with the commingling, it probably won't trickle that way. It'll trickle the other way.
Yeah.
Toyota will get BMW engines, which is a weird choice because Toyota's reliable reputation may be marred soon by difficult to work on, technically complex. German engines, so
we'll see how the Super goes.
Yeah,
but certainly
it'll be interesting. But yes, did any of you guys like the J30?
I don't remember the J30. That was the first one, right?
The J30 was it
the one that didn't have a grill?
No, that was the Q45.
Okay, the Q45 is cool.
The Q45 is cool. It was the Nissan President in Japan that they just rebadged over here as the Q45, and I love the no badge one because it's also a belt buckle. It's very a weird badge design, but I kind of like the J30 because it was weird. It had 4-wheel steering, and it was this egg car. I'm gonna bring it up real quick because
please do.
I will. Oh no, I can't search for some reason in full screen mode. Okay. This was the Infiniti J30. That's a bad picture. This thing.
Those were kind of cool.
It was just like weird.
In a kind of like blobby, like early 90s way.
Yeah.
It's probably the most well-made Buick they ever made.
It does look
at this
if you
promotional...
put a Buick badge on it.
Yeah, look at this
I wouldn't think anything was
Look at this promotional shot. It's even shot on a golf course. But I thought it was kind of cool. It was like a weird like car, especially for the time. Look at this bad butt. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's certainly different.
All right, fine. I'll be alone in that.
No, I'm not disagreeing.
So let's go through just really quickly just the list here.
Mm-hmm.
Comment if you want to. So in 1990, the Asia Rockstar came out.
Let's read off cars that we've heard of.
Fine. Look at this Audi S2. This is cool as hell.
Audi S2
yeah,
is cool.
pretty
I should have picked this as the daily because
No, I don't know.
Yeah, those
pretty
were
cool.
5 cylinders, and that birthed the RS too.
yeah. Like, and if you've never seen an S2 before, Google it because it's like it's a hot hatch, but not a hot hatch.
Really good design.
It
Really
looks like
good
a modern
design.
Quattro.
It does. Yeah. So that's cool. AutoZam review, which has no relation to the AZ1.
Oh
yeah.
no, that is not an AZ1.
This was under the AutoZam, one of the many Mazda
One of the
brands.
many marks.
Yeah.
Yes.
E36 we know, which came out in 1990.
I couldn't
didn't
believe
know that.
I did
Actually,
not know that.
must
That
be
is-
Europe only. Europe only, I bet you it came out in 2000 because it
I
didn't
think
come
of it
here
as, like-
until 90.
Yeah, because I mean, you could still get an E30 in '91, right?
Yeah. In fact, 92 was first year of U.S. market E36.
Okay.
So that's weird that it came out 2 years prior in Europe. E31 we talked about, Buick Park Avenue, Lumina APV.
We talked about Buick Park Avenue already.
Oh, no,
We brought up
that's
that
not-
J30.
I actually thought it was the sedan, and APV meant like some performance
Oh,
model.
yeah, click on the APV listing because I think the APV was the cool one. This is showing not the cool one.
Yeah.
Dustbuster.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't it the Dustbuster?
Yeah,
The
look at
Dustbuster,
that,
that's
look
cool.
at that.
Yeah, those were cool.
That's cool. It did. The LCI was not
The
good.
LCI was
No.
very bad.
They made it look like kind of normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want your minivan to look normal.
No.
The Dacia 1325, we don't know. Fiat Tempra, Ford Explorer we talked about. Holden Caprice. I imagine it would just be like the Chevy equivalent.
It probably looks like that AutoZam.
Honda Inspire.
No idea.
I don't. Oh, HSV. I didn't know that was Holden Special Vehicle.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
the tuner.
Oh, I had no idea.
It's the
HSV
AMG.
Baloo's cool. That's the
The
U.
crikey AMG.
Crikey.
Fair dinkum, AMG.
Lotus Carlton we talked about. Mitsubishi Diamante. I liked these.
Yeah, they're interesting.
Yeah, there was some good
The
generations.
first gen was cool. Look at that with its like
Oh yeah, those were nice.
whole thing. Mitsubishi GTO. I don't know what that. Oh,
It's a 3000
3000
GT.
GT.
They call it the GTO
I didn't
in
know
Japan.
that.
Yeah.
Whoa.
If you had played Gran Turismo, you'd know
Yeah.
that. But anyway.
I didn't. Mitsubishi Topo.
No idea.
Topo Chico?
Nissan NX.
Those were
Pressia.
cool. The NX was
What
cool.
was the NX? Oh yeah, these were cool.
Yeah, that
Yeah, it was like a
I always get
Paseo.
confused because the Pulsar NX,
Yeah.
and then they just had the NX. But you could get like
NX
an
was like
SER version
Yeah.
of that. I don't know
It
if
was
they.
like a poor man's MX-3.
It was the equivalent to a Paseo.
Yeah, I don't know if
No, the MX-3 was cool. The MX-3 was good.
Yeah, well, like Mazda had always done interesting things, and Nissan at this time was doing interesting things, and
Except in this case.
except for
they. No, but you could get like an SER version of this with like it
I think
basically a
that's
Sentra
cool.
SER, like but with like
Yeah.
that styling, which is
Okay.
cool.
That's cool.
that's cool. I don't know what a Pressia is. I do know
Nope,
what a
don't care.
Primera is, which is what the G20 was, but they released. It's basically a hot Sentra. The Clio.
Renault Clio, the first gen Clio,
Yeah.
is right.
Wait, what
Click
is the
on
first-gen
First gen
Clio?
Clio.
the cool one. No, never mind.
The second-gen Clio was
The second gen Clio. Sorry.
No, that's quite. This
Oh,
is
actually, you know what?
generic hatchback looking.
Actually, you know what? The first gen Clio was cool because they had the Clio Williams.
Ah,
They had
Yeah.
so yeah.
What?
It-
Really? There was a Williams.
Oh
there was
my
a Williams
God.
Clio. I don't know if
Formula
I
One.
don't know if it was like Williams.
I saw one in
Whoa.
Scotland once.
They're really cool. They were blue with gold wheels.
Yeah,
they look
they were
not like
really cool.
Subaru blue and gold. Look kind of Subaru
You
blue
could
and gold.
import
But
one now.
yeah, you can.
That's
Like as
cool.
of this year, I
They're
think.
probably cheap too.
Probably.
Want to look up what that? Okay, so Rover, don't care. Saturn S series.
Oh, it's the Saturn.
It's the Saturn Saturn series.
It's the Saturn.
Yeah, Do you know what a Tommy Carrera?
Yeah, if you played Gran
Yes.
Turismo, you would know.
I don't.
Yeah, it was a car
No.
built by like the Japanese tuning company,
What?
Tommy Carrera.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Look how
It was like someone described it, it's like Tommy Carrera
1,500
was like Jegs, but for Japan, right? Or like something like that, right? Like,
Yeah.
That's
like,
crazy.
and they
1,400
built
pounds.
They built a car, and it was really
Yeah.
cool.
Previa.
That is cool.
Sarah.
Previa. The Sarah.
Sarah, McLaren
So
F1
cool.
doors.
Yeah.
Yep. That's where they came from.
And the 900 series, which I adore. Volvo.
Okay. Well,
There we
all
go.
right, before you get into Volvo, we should probably
Yeah.
wrap this up.
So, ladies and gents, I think that is a podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Chris Perkins, for being on our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, indeed.
And thanks for all the scotch.
Hope that we didn't ruin your reputation too badly by
I'm
having
trying.
you on here.
Nah, I
Okay.
could do worse. I could have been drinking more.
Oh my god, that was the plan.
Yes.
Just
I
so you
tried.
didn't remember any.
Oh,
of
you
this.
just.
So.
I was saying we've got more podcasting the rest of this weekend.
We
right?
do. We have we'll have a Radwood app.
We'll have a Radwood app.
Yeah. So listen soon after that. That is to say, listen 3 weeks after this one is released.
4
3
or 5
weeks.
weeks
So
from now.
as that goes. All right. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.